Hi! It's been a while since I've done one of these watch-alongs. It's been a long time since I did one of these watch-alongs. Yes, Montreal, Pod de Audio, yes. Kane, check your DMs on Discord and Blue Sky, because I sent you a link to join for halftime and postgame. Kane is live in Montreal. There we go. Now, you guys should hear me now. So, story time. I'm going to repeat the story that I was just telling you, just in a shorter, condensed version. Technical issue. And as Aaron pointed out, it is kind of tradition on this channel to have some slight technical issue there. Hi, Aaron. Hey, Jeff. I see you guys there. I was playing Football Manager right before I went live. And I'm playing as Inter Milan. I am doing a Pentagon save in Football Manager, which if you don't know what that is, look it up. Football Manager Pentagon Challenge. And Europe is the last continent I need to conquer, and I'm doing that with Inter Milan. And I was in the semifinals with Chelsea. And as I'm playing that game, it was time to go live here. So I clicked the button to go live, and my PC, having to juggle Football Manager and doing a live stream, decided, nope. And at the moment I went live, my PC crashed, hard crashed. But it's back on now. It's working. It's fine. Jeremy Clements, hey, how's it going? Hello. He says hello, Tom, and hello, zombies. Kane's got the link, so he's going to join us from Montreal. Might have another guest later on this show as well. Xavier, my man, how's it going? How's it going? Good to see y'all. It's been a long time since I've done one of these, it feels like. It was the Dallas game in Dallas in July, so almost 2 months ago. It's an interesting kind of a chicken or the egg argument, whereas one reason I have not been doing a lot of away watch-alongs, not because I don't want to do them. It's because I've been away. I've been busy. I've been here, there, and everywhere. There was a game last August 16th that I couldn't do because I attempted to go to the KC Current game that was heat delayed to oblivion, and I didn't even stay for it because I didn't want my laptop to spontaneously combust, which I suspect it may have because it's now literally at Micro Center in the shop getting fixed. But it's like my main editing laptop for videos and such. So anyway, I'm rambling. Long story short, well, not too short, I guess, because I do tend to ramble on and on we go. So how are you feeling about tonight? How are you feeling about Montreal? Because apparently they don't pronounce the T in French Canada. I've been kind of numb to this team for a while now. And that hasn't changed as it looks like we're getting going now on Apple TV. Jeremy thinks it's going to be a 2-1 win. I can honestly see that. Amy Murr, how's it going, Amy? Hang on a sec. I'm not fully equipped here for Amy Murr's presence, but in case you don't know Amy Murr, she is someone that makes she's a fan in section 127, and you always will know that if you get one of her bracelets that she makes. And so this is the top one's the No Goal Patrol, if it decides to show up. There you go. And then obviously you got the Ted Lasso Believe. But then you always know that Amy Murr can be found in section 127 because she always puts it on her bracelets as a bit of a trademark. So I love these. I really do. I need to get some more of these too from you if you got any extra. I'm picking 1-1. Aaron's thinking 2-1 as well, St. Louis. And I was having this discussion when the lineup came out with some folks on Discord. I looked at this lineup that St. Louis is rolling out tonight, and to me, it's not a wooden spoon contending lineup. I think we're better than. I don't think that's a hot take that we're better than we've played and performed. And I don't know. Hindsight's 2020. We can all look at the reasons, which it is just an absolute maelstrom of reasons, for why we are in this predicament. But you've got Berkey and net, you've got Vollum, Kessler, Fall, Padelford. That's a good back line. I want to see Fall continue to develop and grow. This is a time of year when you need to be playing your youngsters. which kind of makes me scratch my head over why we're sending Girdwood Reich out to back to Auckland and back to Oceania. But maybe it's JGR himself. Maybe he's feeling homesick. You never know. Midfield of Durkin and Leuven. That's a standard midfield. Songbin, Hartle, Pompeu, Klaus. I mean, that's as close to an ideal 11 as you get, with the exception of maybe Volleman for Totland, which we don't know what's going on with that one, nor will we ever. Someone in my Discord is saying, well, how is Fall starting at this point? Because he's young and we have nowhere to go, and so you need to get the kid some playing time. I don't see why soccer has to be any different than hockey or baseball or any other sport, where if you are a team that is just completely forlorn and going nowhere, what do you have to lose by not playing your kiddos, down the stretch? Now, St. Louis City's a little different from that, because City 2 is playing really well. Got to see them win in PKs 2-1 last night over Minnesota DOS. And so I guess maybe the argument is like, are youngsters better served, playing for City 2 down the stretch? Well, apparently Critch doesn't think that way, because we have McSorley now in the main roster. We have Joyner on the main roster. We have Orozco in the main roster, although I think that was a Lutz decision. And then now we got Antwi on the roster, which, honestly, guys, the Seth Antwi thing, that's an overreaction. I'm seeing a lot of overreactions, and I'll admit, I was a little knee-jerk about it myself, because I just didn't understand why we are, quote-unquote, wasting a spot on Seth Antwi. I don't think he's going to be back after this year, and you're creating a spot by loaning out JGR for whatever reason you're loaning him out for. And so do I mind rewarding a City 2 lifer for his hard work for the last month or so by, giving him the, last spot on the bench, because he is on the bench for this game? I don't have a problem with it personally. Honestly, at this point, guys, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Jeremy, you don't spend $3 million plus and not play him. Exactly. You got to see what the kid can do and let him grow by facing the adversity. Exactly right. I mean, I don't know how much adversity Montreal is going to throw at St. Louis tonight, but yeah, Aaron agrees. Fall has to learn, and playing with Kessler should help. Totally. I mean, Fall's got a couple of good veterans to play next to with Kessler and Timo. So I'm all for playing Falou Fall as much as possible. Want to give a quick shout out, and I'm going to do this a little differently than I usually do here. Let me try to find it here. Where are my overlays on this thing? Actually, you know what? No, it's not there. If I go back here, there we go. All right, I want to give a quick plug for my friends at Pat Connolly Tavern, located in beautiful Dogtown, located at the corner of Oakland and Tam. And I am... See that right there? Well, actually, hang on a sec. Pat Connolly, move out of the way for just a sec. There you go. Thank you very much. That is details of an in-person watch-along/hangout coming up at Pat Connolly Tavern on Saturday, October 4th at 7:30 p.m. as St. Louis City travels to Austin for its final away match. I can tell you more details are. I can tell you those details right now. Actually, it's going to be in the main bar area of Pat's as you walk in. I don't know if you've ever been to Pat's, you know where the main bar area is. We're just going to have it down there, and there is going to be a $5 cover charge. I should state a suggested cover charge to be donated towards Florida Cure and Cardinal Glennon. In fact, donations will actually go directly to Cardinal Glennon, just in Florida Cure's name. So in solidarity with Florida Cure, and also Cardinal Glennon is a cause that is very kind kind of personal to me. So there you go. Pat Connolly Tavern, October 4th. Mark your calendar, 7:30. We're going to have a get-together for the Austin game. So that should be a good time. I don't know if the game will be a good time, but as one reason I do these watch-alongs is because watching soccer is better when you're watching it with friends. I'm honestly really curious, and we'll hear from Kane, at halftime. Kane, the one that goes to games. Of course, he's got split allegiances tonight because he's also a Montreal fan, in addition to being a St. Louis City fan. I'm really curious how many St. Louisans made the trek out there. I know Chris Gephardt's one of them, and his significant other, Alicia. Kane's there. I don't know who else made the trek. I'm guessing it's not many. I wouldn't be surprised if it's less than Vancouver, honestly, because Vancouver, there were 15 of us, and we saw how that went, which is the reason I'm not going to Austin. I could have gone to Austin. I could have joined Aaron Leak in Austin. My heart can't do an away day, a trip, the travel, the hotel. I can't do it. I can't do it. Not this year. As it looks like we are about to get going here, these are the VAR officials that will be cursing later on if St. Louis games in Canada are any sort of trend. There is the North Star Bell, which it's pretty cool from what everyone says. Now, of course, this will be our first experience in Montreal with the North Bell. It's kind of cool, honestly, to still have a club that we've never played and never, experienced until now. Like, I know the newness is worn off with St. Louis City, but it's really cool that we get to be in this kind of a unique locale in Montreal. I hope this game is better than I think it'll be. I really hope it. I really hope these two clubs have nothing left to lose. Like, I really hope they just throw everything in the kitchen sink. I still think it's going to be 1-1, but we'll see if I am wrong at the end. Aaron, I'm not sure if Kane is still in the chat right now. I'm sure the game's, it's pretty loud where he's at. But, yeah, Kane, let Aaron know if you are going to Austin. Patrick White saying Montreal is a very fun city. I hope to go someday. It is just not this day as we are underway. The clock up top is synced to the game on my end, so you'll always know where I'm at in the game. I know there's a bit of a delay on your end, too. So this also serves so that you can pause your Apple TV to sync up with this. David Cotton, how's it going, David? Greetings from Sacktown, Sac Republic versus Phoenix Rising tonight. Yeah, David, I know it's been a little while since I've really been. Honestly, I feel like my YouTube is almost half abandoned at this point, but life comes at you fast, and been dealing with some family health issues, which are getting better, which are looking very positive, but have also required a lot of time and support. So I appreciate you dealing with my lack of content lately as I deal with that situation. But I can tell you right now, this. By the way, David, are you actually at the Sacramento Phoenix games? And David, you know all about other priority. But yeah, David, are you actually at the Sacramento Republic game tonight? Aaron, thank goodness we get a new secondary kit next year because we have sucked in these Confluence kits. I'm sad to say I have the replica Totland, and I also have an authentic blank that I got for like $20. I'm very tempted to just burn them after this year because those kits are absolutely cursed. Aaron, I'm with you on that. Oh, David, you're going to the Sacramento Republic game. That'd be fun. Is Sacramento and Phoenix a derby, or is that a rivalry? Not sure how close knit those southeastern or southwestern clubs are. But I will say, just to kind of, Aaron says he'll trade you his Indy for my Tots. I'm actually tempted. About that. Let's talk later. I wasn't the biggest Indy fan, honestly. Like, I liked him as a person. I thought his on-field product was kind of mid. And with Totland, like, I gambled on Totland. When I got his name on the back of the jersey, it was at the Armory event. He hadn't played a single game regular season for St. Louis at that point, but he had been looking good in preseason. And so I just had a feeling he'd be a good one, and he's been a good one when he's played. Problem is, he hasn't been playing. David notes that Sacramento and Phoenix are a bit of a rival. Orange County is the biggest rival. I can see that. Oakland's going for it. Although, has that been said in a long time with the Oakland roots? Like, Oakland is going for it. Like, going for what? Like, they had a golden chance this year to attract new fans and interest playing in the Coliseum, and then they did not put enough effort into that roster to match the interest that was in them. Now, can they recover from it? I mean, time heals all wounds. We'll see where they are 5 years from now. Decent ball movement here by Montreal, and that squibber that goes out. Still looks like a decent crowd in Montreal. I mean, their club has been miserable for, I feel as long as St. Louis has existed. And yet they still come out pretty well for them. Looks like a good crowd. I know it's kind of a smaller venue, their stadium is, but I really want to check it out someday. I couldn't do Vancouver and Montreal together. Especially since I got a chance when I went to Vancouver to see Seattle Sounders the next day, because they played the next day against Sporting Kansas. As Montreal's trying to find a lane. Cross headed away. Body falls. Calls for a foul. Not getting one. Feels like we are like parking the bus already. We got so many players back. We got 5, 6, 7 in the box. Song Bin's just kind of like waiting for an outlet as another corner's one for Montreal. Yeah, David with some good perspective here. So Joey Saputo fired Wilfred Nancy, and the next year Nancy wins MLS Cup in Columbus. I mean, yeah, MLS is literally a league where anything can happen. Holy Moses. I did not know Canada had a space program until now. Apologies if they actually do have a space program and that I'm just fully unaware of. Like, that's a shot that even Chris Durkin's like, damn. Like, that is goals for Chris Durkin to get the shank a ball that much. Well, that attack went nowhere, as often happens. Patrick White noting the Canada arm on the space shuttle and now the space station. Well, the space station is about to get a delivery from CF Montreal. It should be arriving any moment now. I think it's now going through the atmosphere. I was going to say a little bit ago, don't take my lack of St. Louis content as a sign that like I'm going to give up making on St. Louis content. It's actually far from the case. I've got some interesting plans this offseason about how I am going to tackle St. Louis City content going forward, and also how I handle the Soccer Zombie YouTube channel, which, as Montreal is trying to get something going here, 3-on-4, shot wide. Berkey doesn't get a piece of it because it was wide. Yeah, the food in Montreal is top notch, David, but so are the long shots apparently. That didn't miss by much. That did not miss by much. But I'm okay with that. I'm okay with Montreal, you know, trying their luck out from deep. That's okay. That's okay. Kat, you have not missed much suffering yet, thankfully. There just has been nothing to suffer about, but I do have my spoons ready just in case. Yeah, David, he's in their head. Or what's Kane? If you're in the chat, how do you say how do you sing the zombie song in French? Actually, I can look that up. Cranberry zombie in French. All right, I'm gonna try singing the zombie chant in French. This could be really bad. Header over. You don't see many headers that go off the head, bounce off the ground, and then go over the net. That's actually very impressive. All right, here we go. Let me try this. Okay, I'm just making sure. Patrick, I see you. Dans la tête, Berkey, key. Dans ta tête, zombie. Kane, is that right? You're probably not watching. I'll ask you at halftime if that's right. As Klaus beats his man, tries to pass it, put it on net, man. Like, why is shooting for rebounds not a thing in soccer? Put it on net. Anything happens. I just got a FOTMOP notification. Shot blocked. Rebound. Let's go.
To give Chelsea a place in the Champions League final. The headline has been
shot. It gets deflected. Conrad Vollum is in the right spot in just about the perfect area you want to be. Montreal's defense is very slow to react. And you don't see many St. Louis goals like that where you are like, you know, where St. Louis is absolutely like camping out in the opposing box. I mean, let's go. That's right, Amy. That's right, Aaron. That's right, Jeff. I see you there. We will take it, Kat. I do agree with you on that. STL. Oh, they're attacking. Okay, it's dealt with. Très bien, David. Thank you. I don't know. Honestly, I know a little bit of Spanish, and I say like little, like I stress the word little. Like, if I got dropped in Mexico, I might be okay. But if I got dropped in France, I'd be clueless. Although I can say the French alphabet, so that's a thing. Because we had to recite I took a foreign language course in junior high where we took a couple weeks of Spanish, a couple weeks of German, a couple weeks of French. And our French teacher always had us recite the French alphabet, this is how A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. She had us do that in French. A, B, C, D, U, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, shave. I'm gonna give Berkey a zombie chant on that one just because. It was not the biggest of saves. That actually leads to an interesting quandary with Berkey I want to talk about during this watch along here as a cross goes out wide to Klaus, deflects around a little bit. I was actually spoiled on the Vollum goal, so I need to actually turn off my FOTMob notifications for a bit. There we go. I want to be surprised just like you guys. How much Vollum, another dangerous spot, gets deflected out wide. Aaron asking, how much is Vollum's purchase option? I've heard it's about $5 million. Which would make Vollum a designated player, and I'm sorry, but Conrad Vollum is not a designated player. We don't even know what his best position is. It is September, and he has played all over the field, it feels like, and he can't stick anywhere, except now he's our makeshift right back. I don't want us to make Vollum a DP. Vollum's a decent player. I don't know what he is, and I don't know what his best position is. It's probably wingback, honestly, in a three in the back system, which we don't do that anymore. We tried that, and it failed badly. Mud Puppies. Klaus is opposite of a vampire. Crosses are terrified of him. That's funny. Me and the Mud Puppies, we are in active conspiring mode. I'll explain why in a little bit. This is something that you can get involved in. Shot block goes high. And foul, we're going back here. Conrad, look, he is going to sign for a League team next year and probably be just fine. He's just, with the way MLS roster mechanics are, he is a luxury we just can't afford. But, Vollum, if we signed Vollum to that purchase option, he would be a DP. He is not a DP. I do not want him to be a DP. We would hopefully sign someone else. Because as you're alluding to, Klaus will be a TAM guy next year, assuming we pick up his option, which I don't see why we wouldn't. If Berkey's a TAM guy, I don't know if Berkey's back. I'm gonna drop that and just let you guys think about that for a moment. Do you think Berkey comes back really in 2026? Let me know. I want to know what you guys think because I have thoughts. David, so. Asking about the Boffs Open Cup game, they've been drawn away for the October second round match. So it really would depend on where they're playing because October 11th is actually a free weekend for St. Louis City. They're off. That's the weekend before the final weekend, and all MLS clubs take that off because I think it's an international window. If it was at home, definitely, and I would promote the hell out of it because they were going to play at Soccer Park. If Boffs were to host an Open Cup match, it would be played at Soccer Park. And you better bet your ass I'm going to promote that, but no, they're going to be playing away. They got drawn away. They get their first round. They got a bye in the first round, and then the second round they're away, which is very unfortunate. But it's like okay, St. Louis. We have this great soccer history. We have rabid fans that turn out for soccer at all levels. Midwest Premier League. Let's have the championship in Omaha. Open Cup. Oh, let's have your one St. Louis club play away from St. Louis. I mean, I get it's, that's just the way the draw works sometimes, but it's just like, come on. Yes, if it sounds like I'm butthurt a little bit over nothing, it's because I am. So Roman Berkey. He's going to be 35 if he isn't already. St. Louis is going to be going through a phase where it's going to be rebuilding. When Berkey retires, St. Louis may still not be out of that rebuild yet. Yeah, and yeah, there's your Durkin obligatory dumbass yellow card. I really hope he's not back. I have nothing against the man personally. And this was something when I spoke to Lutz before he was sacked. Lutz kind of pushed back on the idea of letting Durkin walk. He thinks that Durkin is a must keep, or at least he thought that. Of course, he doesn't make that decision anymore. But yeah, Durkin should not be back. I don't think he's very good. David, have fun at Sacramento Republic tonight. But Roman Berkey. I think we're going to have to live with life without Roman Berkey, if I had to guess, after this season. He has nothing left to prove here in St. Louis. He has nothing to accomplish in St. Louis, except keeping his wife happy, or his future wife happy, fiance happy, because they live in Chicago. And he's very expensive. He's very expensive for a club that is currently 29th in MLS. To me, it's not a very ideal use of resources to spend extravagantly on a 35-year-old goalkeeper when you're a club going through a rebuild. And not only that, as Vollum actually, nope, out of bounds. Not only that, but I don't know if you guys saw Chat City Tactics put out the latest stat graph on Roman Berkey. I think he put it out on Twitter. I know he put it in his Discord. Berkey has fallen off hard. You may not realize, because it's Roman Berkey, and of course Roman Berkey is, close to sainthood here in St. Louis, and deservedly so. He will always be a very big figure in this club's formation. He will be always beloved. He was always a nice guy, and he was our captain and our leader. But yeah, I think it might be time to move on from Berkey. Berkey has not been great this year. He's been okay. I know he had the hand injury, which I'm sure affected things a little bit, and I know our defense has been absolute butt this whole season. Like, I know Berkey missed most of the Olaf era. So back when we were playing good defense, it was mostly Luton net. But Berkey, I just don't think that we're going to see him in St. Louis. This time a couple months ago, I thought that Berkey was a layup for coming back, but now I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure because Berkey's not going to take a pay cut. He's not going to take a pay cut to stay. Like, oh no, it's the bad back pass headed off the line, punched away by Berkey. I'll give him that. Yeah, that was a 2023 vintage St. Louis goal almost that we got reverse Uno'd on that. Was that Vollum on that bad back pass? That was absolutely brain dead. And Falou Fall was there on the line to head that away. So good job, Falou. That's me clapping, by the way. Here, I'll do a golf clap. There we go. Good job, Falou. Good job, Falou. Falou needs those moments. He needs those moments to get his confidence up. I mean, keep in mind with Falou Fall, he's a 21-year-old kid, relatively. No, that was not Volm. Actually, that was Kessler on the bad back pass. That, apologies to all you, all the Volm lovers out there. It was Kessler with the bad back pass, and it was Fall on the line to save the day. Joe from the Mud Puppies. I assume it's Joe or is it Christine? Already counting down the days to Blues opening night, which there are 26 of them. I'll still be pretty busy this offseason with St. Louis City and other soccer stuff, as it's not ready to announce yet, but it's basically done, and my plans are pretty much done. You'll see what I mean. Probably after the season's over, I'll make an announcement about my St. Louis City coverage and my coverage of other soccer, because I really want to kind of go harder into this. It's just we've had a bad team this year. I work by myself. I had the Copa 90 gig, and I just and of course, personal stuff. So good things are coming. Good things are coming. Ryan is watching this from Bob Evans and streaming this at the table. So anyone willing to go to Waffle House to watch this? Maybe a Denny's? I know Aaron's at second shift. So we are really going, out and about with this watch along. By the way, I can definitely tell that St. Louis City is having an absolutely awful year, because there are 11 of you that are currently watching right now, which is a lot lower than my watch along scat. Of course, I've not been doing these on the regular, but I really get the feeling that there is major fatigue with this St. Louis City team this year, and I don't blame you guys, honestly. So if you guys would do me a favor and hit the like button on the bottom, of the screen, that really helps this channel out. And this channel will be going through a little bit of an evolution this off season. Again, I'll have more to come on that. Maybe not an evolution, just a change. Jeff, 11 of us that just can't get enough frustration. That is true. Well, now there's 14 of us. So 3 more masochists have just joined the YouTube stream to grind through this Montreal affair together. I really need to know if that's how you say the French. Dans da tete. Dans da tete. Is it Don or Dans? D-A-N-S. Yeah, I'm trying to be into this game here, but it's kind of hard to. And, as Ryan pointed out, the club itself needs a reboot. So it's just kind of like, But these games are better watched with friends. Okay, so Don's. Is it Don's or Don? Is the S silent, Patrick? Okay, so it's Don, and then is it Tete or Tet? Don ta Tete. Is it Don ta Tete or Don ta Tet? Okay, so it is just Tet. Okay, so it is. So it's Don da tet, Don da tet. Berkey, you'll never sing that. Because we can't get enough St. Louisans to sing French. But thank you, Patrick, for that impromptu French lesson. And no, I'm not going to do this rest of this game in a French accent. I don't do a good French accent. I know French is like one of those very easily identifiable accents, and like it should be easy to replicate. But you just saw me struggle saying, dans ta tête. Like I'm not going to be able to replicate the accent properly. Of course, I could, go into the war front and, bring on the Mid-Atlantic voice from the old-time radio days. But I'm not quite there yet. Yeah, Patrick telling me don't try the French accent. I will not. I will not. I appreciate your concern on that. Oh, so Patrick, are you actually from Montreal? I feel rude. I didn't recognize you. Oh, Joe with the cuisine idea of our generation, folks. Poutine T-Ravs. He wants to know, do you think poutine T-Ravs would be good or not? And by the way, Patrick, T-Ravs are toasted ravioli, which is literally, it's basically breaded and fried ravioli. That is like a St. Louis delicacy here that we are very proud of. But imagine toasted ravioli, breaded and fried to perfection, smothered in gravy and topped with cheese curds. That's the food idea of a lifetime, and someone needs to make this happen. Maybe Joe, when we start our new semi-pro club, we can like feature that on the menu. Poutine T-Ravs. That sounds amazing. I had some poutine in Vancouver when I went up there for the city match last month, Patrick. Poutine is absolutely just orgasmic. It is so good. And yes, you can scoop up the poutine T-Ravs with a wooden spoon. But no, Patrick, thanks for joining the watch along from beautiful Montreal. You're kind of in the same situation we are, where we're just like, we need each other to cope. We need each other to cope. But yeah, Montreal is the home of poutine, and it's amazing. It is amazing. If you've not had poutine even once in your life, you have not lived. Although you got to have it in Canada, though. You've got to have it in Canada. I've had it twice. Actually, no, 3 times now, although one was in England. But yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, Fiat. It sounds, poutine T-Ravs sound amazing. Amazing. Yeah, Brian, you don't know if poutine and T-Ravs work unless you try. It works in my head. It absolutely works in my head. See, I like, Patrick, that... Oh, shot goes high. Yeah... at least you guys get it, Patrick, in that you realize that a rebuild needs to happen, and you actually have started that. The problem is, we here in St. Louis have not. We have been preached to by our now former sporting director and our owner, Carolyn Kindle, who've infamously said in the preseason, we've got to make the playoffs, hands down. And that clip will live rent-free in my head, because we are nowhere near the playoffs in what can only be described as a gross mismanagement and also a catastrophic coaching hire. We were thinking playoffs this year. We were told we were going to be in the playoffs. We made all these signings: Marcel Hartl, Cedric Toyshirt, Henry Kessler, on and on and on and on and on. And we were told that this is going to be a playoff team, just like we were in our expansion season of 2023. The problem with that 2023 season, Patrick, is that I think it gave us very unrealistic expectations. And we did not have the depth of not just players, but also depth in ownership's pocketbook to sustain that without dramatic reinforcement that we were just not able to make. Now, this offseason, we're going to be able to make that because we have something like 15 players that are going to be either out of contract or have options that will likely not be picked up. So St. Louis next year might honestly be a wooden spoon contender unless we do something seismic this offseason. But I think there's going to be too much rebuilding that needs to be done. Patrick, you guys in 2021, yeah, you were in that boat in 2021. Then you sold everyone, replaced no one. I've seen this, not in St. Louis, but I've seen this played out in other places. Shot blocked, Leuven, edge of the box, follow him again. He's heard this YouTuber called Soccer Zombie is slandering him, and he's taking it personally. And really, it's so funny because all these chances are just Vollum being in the right place at the right time. Literally, yeah. Bit too much gravy on that one, Vollum. But it wasn't a Durkin launch job like the one Montreal shot from earlier. It was a good attempt. Scoring update from Daniel. Columbus up 4-0 on Atlanta 30 minutes in. Oh, I need to point out something. Speaking of Columbus and Ohio, you may have noticed I've been having a FC Cincinnati koozie tonight. Not because I'm a supporter of Cincinnati, but I went to Cincy a couple months ago for Hell Is Real. I vlogged it on my channel. It was a great time. And as we were walking out of TQL Stadium, this koozie was just lying on the ground. Like it was like we were in a parking lot, and like I looked down, and I happened to see, oh, free koozie. So I am, and the reason I have this out tonight is because Aaron Ed. If you've been in the supporter section of St. Louis, you know who Aaron Ed is. He's one of our most passionate fans. He's in Cincinnati tonight to watch FC Cincy versus Nashville. As got some space, shot blocked by the own Montreal player. Are we playing ourselves tonight? Sorry, Patrick, but that is something that St. Louis would do this year, as we've got a bit of a counter chance here. Leuven leading the charge. I think that's Leuven. Klaus over to the left side to Hartle. We're slowing it down. And never mind, we're offside. So, well, that's St. Louis City for you. Anyway, Aaron's not an FC Cincy fan. He's a St. Louis fan, but he's also a Cincinnati Bengals fan, and they play at home tomorrow, so he decided to do a doubleheader, which is what I did when I went to Vancouver August 23rd for the St. Louis match, because then the next day, Seattle Sounders played a home match against Sporting Kansas. And Patrick, if you have any sort of admiration for Sporting Kansas, this is not the chat for you, because we hate Kansas here with both middle fingers. So I literally went to Seattle. I didn't vlog that match because I was kind of just wore out from travel, and also I just needed a break. But I went to Seattle and hate watched Sporting Kansas, and I saw Seattle thump them 5-2, and it was magnificent. It was magnificent. Also, Sounders game. Get to a Sounders game sometime. That was a lot of fun. It's actually, I know it's an NFL stadium, but they make it work for the Sounders. It actually worked pretty well. Shot blocked outside the box. Gets his butt into it and gets the call as Falou Fall hits the deck. All right, Patrick. So Patrick does not like himself some Kansas. We used to have a rivalry with them, and then when we first came in. Okay, Patrick, how does Montreal and Sporting Kansas have a rivalry? Explain that, Patrick. I'm actually really curious to hear this, because that seems like a very random rivalry to have. Is it just because your shade of blue is better than their shade of blue? I want to know. I want to know. Ryan, yep, all my homies say fuck Kansas. Fiat lived in Seattle for a couple of years. Those games were fun. I really, some people are not going to like this in this chat. I'm going to admit something right now. I have a soft spot for Seattle. The Sounders, I mean. I like them. The fans were really cool and friendly. I dug it. I really dug it. And they also are like they have a good template for how you build a team. I know Sounders are the Death Star of the MLS Western Conference, and I know they're a big club, and but I really dug their vibe. I really dug Seattle's vibe a lot. And you're talking to someone that had a great time in FC Cincy, but I'm not going to be an FC and Cincinnati fan. There's too much friction between St. Louis and Cincinnati just historically for that. Not just with our USL clubs back in the day, but just in general. But Seattle I can get down with. I can get down with Seattle. I won't claim them as I'm a fan of theirs, but I've got a soft spot for them after going there last month. What's up, Apollos? How's it going? Naples are still in the playoffs in League One, right? Okay, so Patrick explaining that Kansas and Montreal were both in the East, smaller leagues. So I get it. You didn't have yet slim pickings for who you could be rivals with. So I get that. Xavier pointing out you can't spell fuck without Kansas. Well, you can't spell fuck without KC. That is true. Although, weirdly enough, I do like the KC Current. Only because the KC Current hasn't threatened the podcast in St. Louis with the litigation. We don't have an NWSL club of our own. They play in a beautiful stadium. They have a fun club. They're a great club. And they are also capturing Kansas City's hearts more than Sporting Kansas, which I'm all for anything that makes Sporting Kansas look bad. So there you go. I'm a KC Current fan. I wouldn't say it's an enemy of my enemy situation. It's more like if you're making Sporting Kansas look bad, I like you, which is why I like Seattle. Yep, Seattle was Fiat's first MLS team, soft spot too. Try to get up there once a year for a game. I really loved it up there. Patrick doesn't like SKC. I like. All right, Patrick, I like you. Yeah. Ryan also, pointing out that noted Seattle grunge band Soundgarden wrote "Spoon Man," and we might be the Spoon Men for the season. So, Spoon Man. All right, I'm not going to do that. Yeah. Tacoma Defiance is fun too. Actually, funny you mentioned the Tacoma Defiance. David Cotton, are you still in there? Because I'm going to detach this for just a sec. That's a Tacoma Defiance scarf right above where all my hats are and where the All-Star banner is. Got that from David Cotton, who went to a Tacoma Defiance game this year. He was living up in the Seattle area for a while, and he was nice enough to get that for me. So, yeah, Tacoma Defiance, good time. Very good time. Yep, Naples leapfrogging one Knox, at least temporarily, for third last night. Good to hear. Xavier likes the Washington Spirit. Got to see them in the... Hang on. I got it here. I got to see the Washington Spirits in the NWSL Championship when it was at CPKC Stadium last year in Kansas City. It was Washington Spirit versus Orlando Pride, and the Orlando Pride ended up winning 1-0. And one of the best games I saw in all of 2024, men or women. I mean that when I say some of the best pure soccer I have seen in the last 18 months or so has been women's soccer. But Jeff is correct. We root for St. Louis City, and then we root for whoever's playing Sporting Kansas. So that is not everyone subscribes to that theory. Like, you guys know Caleb Leone, who is kind of like the supporter liaison with St. Louis City. At the tailgate before the last home game, Caleb gave me some shit over wearing a Sounders kit to the Seattle Sounders game when we played Sporting KC, and I explained to him, enemy of my enemy is my friend. And then he's like, well, I wouldn't wear a United shirt, if my team was playing against Liverpool or whatever. Not everyone has set rules on that. Me personally, I believe in you scratch my back, I scratch yours. I think that's just fair. I think that's a fair thing, for sports fandom, and I don't care if you think I'm a plastic fan for it. If you beat our rival, I like you. Period. End of story. Grunge. I was a big, I went to, Patrick. Patrick, you take those words back. You take those words back, Patrick, right now. Right now. Yeah, Jurgen's watching you right now, Patrick, and he's not happy with you right now. Yeah, this is a Liverpool house. This is a Liverpool house. You never walk alone. That's right, Xavier. You never walk alone. Okay, so he's Patrick's a United fan, which I feel more sorry for you than anything. I mean, hard times are hard times. Man, Patrick, it was going so well, too. It was going so well. I mean, we can still be friends because you hate Sporting KC, and that's first and foremost. So you're cool. You can stay. You're fine. You're fine. But yeah, Ryan, I was actually, when I was in high school, I was high school 1999 to 2003, and I was a big grunge fan. I was a big grunge fan. I was like really into Nirvana like around the time 9/11 happened. Big stop by Berkey. Let's go. Flag stayed down. Yeah, and Amy just pointed out it is going to be a very early morning tomorrow. And it is because we get to feel the burn. 8 a.m. Liverpool at Burnley. Might go to Amsterdam for that, actually, because I have to make some errands Sunday, around midday. So it's like, Amsterdam would be a good kickoff for that. Are you going to be at Amsterdam, Amy? Patrick went and saw the 2-2 draw last year at Old Trafford. Was that the one in late 2024? Because if it was, that was the game, I think, right before the Liverpool-Sheffield United game that I went to in late 2024. I remember... No, it was after. It was after that game, I think. It was 2-2. It was very... I remember it was very... Yep. Okay, so Patrick, that's the same one. I watched, so you were at Old Trafford watching that. I was in a bar in Galway, Ireland, watching that Liverpool-Man United match. And yeah, well, the cracks were starting to show in our title hopes anyway that year. We really fell hard. But yeah, I was in Galway, Ireland because I did a whole England blitz that year. I did 5 games in 5 days, including one in Dublin. I got to see Bohemian take on Waterford, and they lost. But I spent the rest of my time overseas in Galway, Ireland, on the other side of Dublin, and it was really cool watching a big Premier League match in Ireland. Like, something about it just felt right. As we have now hit halftime, I can stop the timer here. It is now 1-0. We are going in with the lead. All right, so I believe we have a guest in the hopper here. Looks like he is getting his camera situated. Oh, I see. He's got okay. There he is. It is, by God, it is Kane. As soon as I got to get this thing off here. Give me just a sec here. Oh, I screwed this up. Hang on.
To record
I'll bring in Kane
me.
in just a sec. Hang on. All right. Remove that for now. Let me go to hit this. I need to take this off, and I don't know. Oh, there it is. Take that off. By God, it is Kane, the one that goes to games, coming to us live from Montreal. And what do you think of that first half, Kane? Well, first of all, tell me about like the turnout. I mean, what were the vibes in the stadium?
So overall, can you hear me okay?
Oh yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Perfect. So overall, I'm going to be a little bit biased as I am today supporting both teams. I got the shitty right under.
Hey.
So I'm a little biased. I love the atmosphere. The stadium's a little older, so it kind of doesn't feel like super crazy, if that makes sense. In terms of, the roof doesn't trap the sound, so it doesn't sound as loud. But I love it. Turnout's great for two basically dead last teams. Turnout, I would show you, but everyone's getting concessions. But it's pretty good. Our friends are up there, and then we have a few scattered around.
Okay.
So there's a lot more City fans here than I thought there were going to be.
Yeah, very, very. I was really kind of surprised who would make that trek, because there was not a lot of us in Vancouver when we went there last month. But so first half. I mean, what do you think of that first half?
I thought it was entertaining. I think we made a lot. City took advantage, is what I want to say, of a lot of Montreal's mistakes. We've had probably only about one big mistake so far, so that's been pretty good, pretty tame. And it's been pretty good soccer so far. I'm not disappointed.
Yeah, I'm not disappointed either. I think St. Louis is playing pretty well. Montreal has had some. Honestly, they've had some moments that kind of remind me of St. Louis a little bit, like the shot early on that I think it is now approaching the moon as we speak. That one really like shank job there.
Yeah, it hasn't come down yet.
No, it is definitely in outer space right now. And like that, I mean, like I said it during the stream, like Chris Durkin only wishes he can hit the ball that high. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. By the way, so we have someone from Montreal that is in our chat, and he was very helpful because when Berkey was making saves, I learned how to sing "Zombie" in French. It would be, and correct me if I'm wrong, because again, he gave me the French Canadian type of pronunciation for this. So dan da tet Berkey. Is that accurate?
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
I speak French. Very little. Oh wait, that's the Italian gesture. Never mind. Also, Patrick has some advice for you. Go to Chez Paris.
Chez Paris. I will look it up.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like a concession here or if it's just its own restaurant in Montreal somewhere.
Yeah, clarify that for us, Patrick. If that's a restaurant or if that's in the stadium. Kane's very familiar with Montreal. He's spent a lot of time there. So, but yeah, like have you have you seen my buddy Chris Gebhardt there? I know he's in with the main supporters.
I can show you. There's one guy there.
Okay.
And everyone else is up there. So I don't.
It's kind of hard to tell.
I know, and Joey's up there. So that's where I know where everyone is.
Joey Zanaboni?
Yeah.
He made the trek.
I am like 99% sure I heard him yell City leads from down here.
Oh, you love. So you mean this? Yeah, you know. By the way, Patrick says Chez Paris is it's not a restaurant. He's not sure if he can say it on the internet. So is it like a brothel or? I'm kind of curious. Of course, I'm also worried that my someone's going to be like looking in on my web search history. So maybe I shouldn't do that. But alrighty, well, enjoy the second half, Kane. We'll come back to you after the game.
Sounds good.
Alrighty, man. Vamos City.
Vamos.
All right, that is Kane Viktorovich, who does go to games. You can search for him on socials at Kane Goes to Games on Instagram, and I don't think he has X anymore, but he's on Blue Sky as well. Good dude. Ryan, if Zanaboni got swept away in my hypothetical reboot, I would not be upset. That's funny. So I got to edit this timer here. Give me just a sec. Why is this not working? There it goes. God, it's been so long since I did one of these watch-alongs. Like I'm having like almost relearn how to do this. Which is so funny because I'm gonna be doing a lot more live streams going forward. Oops, did I say that out loud? By the way, in case you are just joining, I need to actually fix this. Why is this like this? There we go. Kane, my camera being flipped was throwing me off so much. No, you were right-sided on our end, so you looked fine. But just in case you're just joining, I'm going to have a live watch-along this coming Saturday, October 4th at my wonderful sponsor, Pat Connolly Tavern in beautiful Dogtown, located at the corner of Oakland and Tam. St. Louis institution since 1942, but I figured with this being the last away game of the season, it'd be nice to see you guys in person and have a bit of a hangout at Pat Connolly Tavern. Of course, it's a City on Tap bar, so they got $3 Michelob Ultras if you wear City Red, so don't forget your City Red that night. And we will be raising money with a suggested cover charge of $5 for Florida Cure, which I'm not gonna talk about that whole kerfuffle as we because I think enough's been said about that this week. So okay, Kane says Chez Paris looks to be a cabaret jazz lounge. Ooh, that actually sounds fun. That actually sounds like that might be worth going to. So I am going to be right back. I'm going to take a quick break. I need a refill here, and we'll be back for the second half. back, and I have some sad news to report. One of my wooden spoons has gone to wooden spoon heaven. So it is now 2 halves of a whole. Yeah, there was a split that was kind of forming on it, and it just kind of, as I was kind of like banging it, it just got progressively worse. So now it doesn't now, but you know what? Actually, I take it back. It's not wooden spoon heaven. Now, this is an elite back scratcher. This is a really good back scratcher now. Always find the silver lining in things, especially when you're a St. Louis City fan. Pretty good first half. Not going to complain about that too much. Nothing really to complain about. I thought we definitely looked like the more assertive of the 2 teams, although Montreal did have their chances. They just, kind of like St. Louis City, they just didn't know what to do with them. Want to also shout out St. Louis City's own Joey Zielinski, who is actually playing tonight for Indy 11. He actually got the start for them as they are in Rhode Island, which is a great place to catch a game, by the way. You can check out my blog on that earlier. Chris Gebhardt in the house. Bonjour, mi. How's it going?
To give Chelsea a place in the Champions League final.
Just had Kane on
Has been written.
halftime show, so he is down over behind one of the nets. But he showed me where you were, and it looked like it was way up in the corner there. But how's Montreal, Chris? How's Montreal? But yeah, as I was saying, Joey Zielinski got the start at right back for Indy 11. Actually has the best FOTMOB rating out of any Indy 11 player tonight at the 7.2. 10 defensive contributions, 37 touches, 1 in the opposing box, 4 passes into the final third. Yeah, he's actually had looks like he's had a pretty good game, to be fair. Yeah, Montreal looks great. It looks like a great stadium. And that poutine that you had looked amazing. Which, by the way, Chris, yeah, it's a smaller stadium, as I got to start the clock. There we go. Yep, right on time. Someone, Chris, came up with the idea of poutine toasted ravioli. So instead of fries... Oh, shot goes out. You have toasted raviolis, breaded, fried to perfection, topped with cheese curds and gravy. Someone needs to make this happen. Someone needs to make this happen. That sounds amazing. Yeah, someone needs to put a patent on that. That needs to happen. Joe, I know we are currently in the process of building a semi-pro club together. Me, you, and about 3 dozen of others that have, submitted interest in that. If you want to join in on the effort, you can check out my posts on X, Blue Sky, and my Discord. And submit your interest. And also, there is a Discord server where you can discuss this. But yeah, Joe, one of the things we're going to need to talk about eventually is concessions. And so poutine toasted ravioli will bring the boys to the yard if we make that a thing. As welcome to the wind down. Oh wait, wrong show, wrong podcast. That's copyright infringement. Oh, Padelford, nice pass in the box. Just no one at the end. All right, Chris, back to have fun, Chris. It looks like it's getting exciting there. We'll be talking a lot more in the future, me and Chris. Let's just say that. By the way, speaking of KC Current and Washington Spirit, Xavier, they are just kicking off the second half. It is currently 0-0. Know someone from the Chat City Tactics Discord that is currently at the KC Current game tonight in the South Stand, which is where you should be. It's the supporters end of the KC Current. It's a lot of fun. Also shaded, and you get a good breeze there. individual players. So if I was still doing player rankings, which I'm kind of glad I don't do anymore, Falou Falls had a good game. He had the clearance off the line. I think Volums had a good game. Padelford just had that nice pass into the box. Kessler's been the one defender that's worried me, and a lot of that was just because that bad back pass. Durkin's been Durkin. He is what he is at this point. Leuven's led some charges. He's looked pretty active tonight. Hartle's had at least one decent chance. Klaus should have put that shot on net when he was in deep, and then he did put a shot on net that was blocked that went for that Volum goal. I think he's been having a good game. I haven't noticed Song Bin too much, although that could be just by design. I haven't noticed Celio too much, but again, that could be just by design. Speaking of Celio, he's got the ball here on the near side. Oh, that's a good one, too. Celio's got enough speed to beat his man. Oh, that last touch absolutely failed him. Piet caught up with Celio. That's the thing with Celio. I love Celio. I love him as a human being. I think he does have qualities in him. He's just not fast enough. He's just not fast enough. Not for MLS. USL Championships, Celio destroys. But he cannot be a winger in MLS. He just can't. I wonder how he would do as a number 10, honestly. Or a midfielder. No, actually, take that back. Celio does not play enough defense to be a central midfielder. Yeah, Celio's just, God, he's got so many holes in his game that, like, keep me from, like, fully endearing myself to him. As Fall heads it back to Berkey in the safe hands there. Now, a reminder, I did predict 1-1 before this match, and we are still on track for that, which means there is still time for anger and sadness. So Baby Yoda, who's over my right shoulder, might be making a visit at some point. If you're not familiar with my watch-alongs, Baby Yoda is kind of like my support animal, whenever times get tough, which they often get tough covering this club. And people often, like, I heard this a lot after the Vancouver game, after the VAR call. And people are like, well, why are you so upset? Because, I mean, your team's bad. It's just accept it. Well, we were told this team was not going to be bad. Like, it's one thing, it's one thing to be like a fan like Patrick, who is a Montreal fan, whose club is going through a rebuild right now. It's a very obvious rebuild. And you can look at a club that is going through a rebuild with different lenses and different eyes. Like, you go in expecting to be bad, but you're looking for signs of progress from young players or maybe players that you're, rolling the dice on. But you go into the season, like, you go into the season with your expectations down here. And if the team performs like around here, maybe, that's okay. But see, here's the problem. St. Louis's expectations were up here this year, and we're performing way down here. That's the problem. That's the problem we're having. And it's why it's so disappointing. Also, I don't like the idea of fans telling other fans they can't feel bad about their club. That is, you are. It's not even like a fellow St. Louis fan saying, "Oh, you can't be bad. We're bad." Like, that's one thing. But, like, I had Vancouver fans telling me after the Mueller bullshit that, "Oh, why are you feeling so bad? You guys suck." It's like, who are you to gatekeep how I should feel about my own club? Do I tell you how to feel about your club? No. I have never met a more askew ratio of fans that are really nice in person, but are total cunts on the internet than Vancouver fans. And that's not just Whitecaps. That's just Vancouver in general. Canucks fans are even worse. But yet, if you were to ever go to a Canucks game, I'm sure they'll be nice as hell. It's just when they go online, they turn into these little fucking gremlins. Of course, as a reminder, it takes absolutely no courage whatsoever to be a jerk on the internet. But it takes a lot of courage to be a jerk in person. Just saying. Well, and that's what I was saying, Daniel. You know, that's it's one thing. See, that is supporters of the own club, of your own club, that watch the club alongside you, trying to get perspective. My issue is with fans of other clubs telling me how I should feel about my club. That's my problem. If you're a fan of St. Louis City, I expect you to have your own opinions on things, and I just expect that. Whether it's right, whether it's wrong, whether it's different, whether it's the same, you're going to have your own opinions. And I respect that, because you watch the same club that I do. You cheered with me, you booed with me, you've gotten angry with me, you've gotten happy with me. But for a fan of another club to tell me how I should feel about my club, fuck that. You haven't walked in my shoes. You have no idea. Oh, that's a good pass to Klaus. He's free. Good pass back to Hardo. I got it. Yes.
To give Chelsea a place in the Champions League final. The headline has been written.
Very nicely done. Very nicely done. Very nicely done. That is the counterattacking soccer that St. Louis should have been playing this whole time. Klaus had so much space. Like, honestly, Klaus could have taken a shot there. He was actually smart to lay it off because 5 was closing him down. But then Hartle's right there, and that's St. Louis soccer. Very good counter. That's a building block for next year, because I think the cast of characters you saw in that attack are going to be back next year. Very nicely done. Very nicely done. Hey, Steven, it's all right. I don't blame you for being a little late. This team is something else, but this is fun. That was just very good. Yeah, very good work all the way around. Oh, Montreal, you guys got a Morales too. Joe from the Mud Puppies wants to see more STL Academy progression. I'd be so much happier if City 2 wins MLS Next Pro than if City squeaked into the playoffs. I think that is 100% me as well. And that kind of leads into, like, if you're going to rebuild, look at how Seattle built their team. I think we should be more of the Philadelphia method. Philadelphia has an academy that is just the absolute bomb. And they churn players out left and right. And I'm not saying be like Philadelphia because they have Bradley Carnell. I'm not going to get into that. That's not the reason. I'm talking about how you find players and develop players for your own. Because it has been very evident in year 3 that, you know, the Human Sons, the Thomas Mullers, the Marco Royces, they're not coming to St. Louis. You are not going to lure a player that has the big marketability and the big playability that those players have. Oh, just missed. Good effort. Good effort. That should have been a corner. Klaus thinks it should have been a corner. I guess that can't be VAR'd. But yeah, we need to be a club that develops from within, and we've already got the foundation in place because we have a good City 2 team that is running away with MLS Next Pro this year. Our academy is just, I know no one follows the academy really closely outside of like Jake Henry that I know of, but like our under 16s are absolutely phenomenal. And like you're going to see some players coming up, over the years, like Chavez, who is a left back that I think it's a little too early for him. He's gotten a little City 2 work this year, but he's not quite there yet. Lorenzo Cornelius has been with the under 17s. Tyson Pierce, I think you're going to see him on the MLS roster next year, like properly as our backup right back. Caden Glover, tried to catch the goalie sleeping. That wasn't going to happen. But yeah, I think, and especially because if you're not going to build from within as just a matter of survival in this league and thriving in this league, you play in St. Louis, a city that loves its homegrowns to death. We still have a love for Miggy Perez, even though Miggy Perez looks to be a very average at best prospect long term. Definitely overrated. But we still love Miggy because he's one of our own. He's one of our own. Miguel Perez, he's one of our own. We love those guys. Same thing with Makai Joyner and anyone else that comes up. We need to develop from within. Period. And also, just you need to develop players to sell on for big fees too. That's just the reality of soccer, and that's honestly how a lot of clubs make money is through big transfers. Like, I know we got lucky with Joe Aquini going to Como in an absolute robbery of a sale. Shot, off the bar, rebound. Why did Berkey get a piece of that? The first shot was scary. The second shot was yikes. Jaime, I think Berkey got a piece of that. Let's see the slow-mo. I'll give it to him. Yeah, how did they not score there? I mean, Montreal might have worse luck than St. Louis as Makai Joyner gets in for Song Bin. You love to see it. Dallas got super close to winning the trifecta with an internal development model. Yeah, that's how you got to do it. This club has to be that. If we're not going to be a big spender, and we're not in a coast. We've got to do it. We've got to be a development club. Period. No more Zweite Bundesliga rating. Damn, where did everyone go? Is it something I said? Ooh. Kai. Just checking the temperature on social medias. It's a dangerous cross. I feel like we did just enough. Just enough. Yeah, Amy says that we should have a lot more goals against this quality. I'll take it, but I mean, this game kind of feels like a game that like St. Louis could leave Montreal with a 3-0, 4-0 win if the floodgates just open. Like, here we go. We get the ball, but we don't get a big counter. We can't. It is a good feeling to be winning, and it feels weird to be winning by 2. As that's a good ball. Here's Joyner. He's got Klaus in the middle. Klaus in the middle. Over! Shot just missed. Defender got just enough of that, but that was golden for Celio right there. But yeah, that's what I'm talking about, Amy. Like, right, like stuff like we're gonna get another at least 1 or 2 chances like that, where we're gonna have all like Montreal's gonna overcommit and we're gonna have just time to feast in the box. Celio could have done better on that. He definitely could have done better on that. They should score there. I agree. Celio. That's another thing with Celio that bugs me. His effort sometimes just disappoints me. He needs to attack that ball. He really does. I mean, it was a good defensive play, but I think he needs that. You know, yeah, Xavier, I'm with you. I'm not celebrating yet. But we are playing well enough to see this out as it stands right now. And no, my 1-to-1 prediction will not come true, but you know, hopefully that's for good reason because we held this out here. Okay. Right. Oh, that's a good feed. Vollum had no angle though. Tried to kind of do a weird flick back to Klaus, just didn't have enough on it. That would have been a tough connection. Man, look at us. We are still forward. I love it. There we go. Now you can actually see my head. Stal Saputo. Yeah, it was ambitious from Wall. It was a good idea. That's about all he could do in that spot, though. David, the other part of you that fears for a 2-2 draw that makes you crazy. See, I'm not even going to think about that right now, David. So, yeah. And he also notes that West Ham makes St. Louis look good, which is not... It sounds like West Ham's not having a good time this year. There we go. Yeah, St. Louis very much in control in this one, Steven. I'm with you on that. And God, I can't... Montreal is really in the last 10 minutes or so, I've not seen anything from them. I honestly, I'm a little at a loss on how to feel right now, because we don't win road games. We haven't won one, I think, in 2 years, except for the Galaxy one earlier this year. I keep forgetting about that one. But this is a weird feeling. I don't know how to feel. Good? But then again, I've been in this situation before with this team where it's like I start feeling good and then they break my heart. I'm just not seeing anything from Montreal right now that has me worried. Like, Montreal is playing super slow. I mean, our press is working, which is, I mean, that's part of it. Ooh, Washington Spirit just got a red card in the 66 minutes, so Casey Curran going to play up a man, or excuse me, up a woman, with for the last, looks like the last 30 or so. Not that the Current need any more help in the standings, as this one's to Leuven, tries to get it back to Klaus, but did not have the angle on that. And here we are, Montreal clears, and we are bullying Montreal. And Jeff, I see that you're still worried, but like, again, I had a weird feeling when I saw this 11, and I'm like, this is not a wooden spoon contending 11. I had a feeling. I can't. It's. Oh shoot! I had a feeling about that too. Oh, flag is up. Flag. Love a good VA. Love. I love the assistant ref. The linesman. No. No. That was some yikes defending, but yeah. Love a good assistant ref. Saved by the flag, Steven. I'm with you there. Yeah, 18 was way off. Although it was hard. Why is Hartle the last man back? Why? It really does feel like we're playing ourselves this game. Like, literally, Montreal is doing things that we should be doing. All right. Oh, Leuven chips. Just chipped a little too much. Almost 3-0. What is this club? What is this club? Leuven has had a really good game tonight. Chip. No one got a touch on it. I think he just chipped it. Brandon McSorley in the game. Love seeing the youth in there. Seeing as we're not going to, we're competing for one of these, so like, let the youth play. Let the youth play. Yeah, Joe, he worked hard to loft that too high. I mean, I think that one shank from the first half by Montreal is like the shank that everyone's going to aspire to. Steven noting that the spin on the ball changed when it left Lubin's foot. Oh, no. So Sean from River City Ramble asking, about poutine T-Rabs on my Discord, asking, does gravy really go well with the filling? He also thinks T-Rabs are more finger foods. So maybe, what if like just poutine ravioli? Like what if it was just regular ravioli smothered in gravy and cheese curds? Like that might work better. I still like this poutine T-Rab idea. Or maybe you do T-Rabs stuffed with cheese curds and meat, and then you have gravy as a dipping sauce. That would be a very American thing to do. Mud Puppies, Joyner doesn't know we're in last place. I love that. And I agree, Steven. I think poutine T-Rabs would be amazing. All right, 15 and change. Okay, Steven was picking up what I was putting down, using the gravy sauce as a dip. Oh, that's a good ball. Big save, though. Klaus needed to put a little air on that. This Montreal team is just bad. Have we played a worse opponent this year than Montreal? Think about it. Think long and hard. Actually, maybe the Galaxy were when we faced them in LA. Excuse me. Snuck up on me. That Galaxy's the only one that I think I've seen this bad. Although I have a short memory when it comes to individual games this year, because it's been excruciating this year to be a City fan. Like, one of my big takeaways from this game is our attack is fine when we're actually working it the way it should work. But we need a better defensive structure, and we need a 6, which I've been banging that drum on for a long time. Yeah, Amy, I agree with you, Amy. This is a game that St. Louis needs. They need to beat up. I mean, they need to put up another 1 or 2 goals on Montreal to just regain a bit of swag. A little. I mean, like you're not going to regain a lot of swag this year, but just get your confidence back up. Another near miss for Montreal. Yeah, their number 9 looks to be like almost like a Christian Benteke at home type, where he just looks like a physical beast, but they have nothing for him to do. Their service in the box has been terrible. Yeah, if number 9 was more of a threat, Jeff's suggesting we put in Loon to counter the height. I mean, I'm okay with Berkey in there for now, but I see your point. And we're going to have a corner for Montreal. Not too many corners for Montreal tonight, it feels like. What is this? The final 10 minutes of a game and I'm yawning and we're winning? That is the current state of where I'm at. Shot block. At this point, I'm just watching to see if Berkey can get himself a shutout. Good clear by Fall. Good job by Fall there. Yeah, Steven, if this had gone the other way, then we're right back into the spoon talk. But as it stands right now, we will have... Basically, we have now traded spots with Montreal if this holds. So we would be the 27th ranked team, and Montreal would be the 29th ranked team. Galaxy are losing 1-0 right now, so they still have a firm grip on that wooden spoon. It is the 39th minute. Seattle Sounders leading Galaxy 1-0. Jesus Ferreira with a 5th minute goal for the Sounders. I don't think I actually got to see Ferreira play for Seattle when I was there last month, because Seattle rotated a lot of players for that Kansas game because they had a Leagues Cup match middle of the week, and which Thankfully, they won, and then they beat Miami in the finals. But yeah, I got to see a lot of Seattle's backup players, like the guy that got a hat trick for Seattle was a guy that like they've tried to sell a couple times and they just can't get rid of for whatever reason. Masovsky, I think is his name. Ooh. Sorry, I was distracted by our efforts to build a semi-pro club. Which, if you're interested in helping us out on, you can check out my Discord for relevant links for a Discord server, as well as a questionnaire, as well as my X and my Blue Sky. Just reading an update on how this is formulating here. Never thought in 2025 I'd be building a... Oh, Seth Antwi getting into the game. Interesting. Maybe that's the 6 we've been waiting for this whole time. Because he is a legit 6. And he definitely chooses violence every now and then. Just... Berkey clears it away. Yeah, I never thought I'd be building a semi-pro club in 2025, but here we are. Thankfully, St. Louis City being bad made this possible, and it's still not even. It's still not 100% guaranteed we're even gonna get this thing off the ground. But there's a lot of positive momentum behind it. A lot of St. Louis fans that are kind of frustrated with City and would love to take control of their own club and actually have a club that listens to its community. That's really why we're doing this. All right. 5 minutes left, and I'm yawning again. Because that is how this game has gone. This game is just like watching sands from an hourglass fall down until there's nothing left. It's a good problem to have. It's a very good problem to have. I'm just used to feeling anxious and not happy, but I feel content. Could be the beers. The beers help with that. Beers. Although I'm not drinking beers to cope tonight, which feels weird. Okay, Mackay. Let's get one more. I'm with you, Amy. Back to Hartle. Antwi. It's not Antwi, it's Antwi. Oh, Padelford. Wake up, bro. It's fine. It's fine. Wish I had something to talk about. I just don't have anything to talk about right now. Just waiting for this game to kind of get over, basically. We'll have, Kane will join us after the game to get the vibe from Montreal. Might have another person joining. Just depends on his schedule. Joe asks this question: if this season was a movie, what would it be? That's a good question. Joe thinks Castaway. That's a good question, honestly. I'm having trouble thinking of one. Chasing Amy. This season is Chasing Amy. And I'm going to let this work itself out. Jeff L. thinks it's a Nightmare on Elm Street. We got a break here. This is why I was kind of waiting to explain why I think it's Chasing Amy. And again, I haven't seen Chasing Amy in a long time, but as this one goes out of bounds. Chasing Amy. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this movie. It's a Kevin Smith movie from the 90s. And it starts off with a couple of buddies that are... they make comic books. They make issues of comics, and life's going fine for them. Generally positive. And our hero, who is played by Ben Affleck, runs into a gal that he just is absolutely smitten with, and he gets all this hope and all these expectations. And then it turns out the girl that he likes just woof. And it turns out the girl that Ben likes is a lesbian. Yeah. That Olaf is the lesbian in this story. And but yet the difference with Chasing Amy is that he actually does hook up with her, and they actually do become an item. And then it gets kind of weird, and then it ends up in disaster for Ben Affleck's character, basically. And the rest of the movie is just a slow drip to the end, which is just kind of, Ben Affleck's character just accepting that he screwed up and just finding a way to move on with his life. This 2025 St. Louis City, Chasing Amy, with Olaf being a lesbian. Amy thinks Titanic is too cruel. It's not a terrible. It's actually not a terrible one. God, Titanic's such a good movie that's pretty deep. Like I'm having a hard time correlating that with the soccer season this year, but it's not terrible. Ryan thinks Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. In his Castaway comparison, Joe is asking if Lutz is Wilson, the volleyball. Maybe. Of course, we're talking about, comparing a soccer game to a Kevin Smith movie from the 90s because, this game has been really a nothing burger for the last half hour. Which is why I'm glad you are still here. And hit the like button to help this channel out if you got a second. Although we got an attack in the box. Hartle gets defender's block out. That was a bad idea for a tackle, Conrad. What's trying to get a red card there, bud? Good tackle by Falou. Are we going to get one more chance? Are we going to get one more chance to get McSorley or Joyner on the board? I don't know. We just turned the ball over. What was that? Well, we're going to win this one. If you're a Montreal fan, you've been wanting this game to just be taken out back and shot for a while. I mean, this was a good game for St. Louis. Although Montreal is pretty bad. This was a bad Montreal team we just played tonight. But that is a road dog. City leads. Joey Zanaboni, he's there. Times 2. You love to see it. 2-0 win on the road over a very bad Montreal team. I am quite happy with that. Quite happy with that. The wooden spoons, you can put them away for a little while. We love ya. We love ya. We love ya. Na 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 St. Louis. And we are going to go back out to Montreal right now, where Kane, the one that goes to games, is live. How you feeling, Kane?
Well, I'm feeling good. I wanted at least one goal that counted for Montreal, but I'll take what I can get. 6 city wins. Wow.
I mean, you get to see you got to see something very rare today, Kane. A road win for St. Louis.
This is my first road win I've ever seen. I'm just realizing.
Really?
First away win ever.
I mean, not that you've had many opportunities to, like see one. I mean, I know you go to a lot of games, but like this is what our 5th road win as a franchise. Like pretty bad.
Yeah. Not many to pick from the bunch.
No, but as someone that's also a Montreal fan, so I made the point earlier on that, like, one reason that this season's been disappointing for St. Louis is because we've had all these expectations going into it. But for Montreal, you're in a rebuild. You're in a rebuild. So, like, just give us the point of view as a Montreal fan about tonight. I mean, can you be too disappointed at this point?
So right now where we are at in the season, obviously we're not doing well in the standings overall, but there started to be like, if we were earlier in the season, there started to look like there was a small glimmer of hope. We had a good run going, but still in the rebuild, even though we've had a fairly good run. So there's still this knowledge of, it's good in the moment, but we really need to look towards the future.
Definitely. And like tonight, just from my vantage point, it looked like St. Louis really bullied Montreal, quite frankly. Like it felt like we absolutely had this game by the throat like the whole time around. Was that what you saw?
Yeah, that's it. It felt like that a lot. There's some very nice Impact fans or CF Montreal fans wishing
They
us
should be the Impact.
Good night. I know. Ramenez l'Impact. We felt like we should not be where we are in the standings if we looked at this game alone. But have to keep in mind of where Montreal is also at. So it was just
True.
kind of.
And we actually literally trade places in the wooden spoon race right now. So Montreal is 27th, we were 29th, and now is the exact opposite now. We leapfrogged Montreal tonight. So, but overall, like watching the game, it looked like the Montreal crowd was very into it. Like it sounded like a pretty good atmosphere there. Was that what you saw?
It's what it felt like. So they have one section of general admission supporters there.
Yeah.
And then one section there. So it's very small, but they are both very loud. In fact, actually, that side I heard most of the time, even though we were closer to this side, but they were bumping it.
Yeah. Yeah, so looked like a good vibe, and yeah, a rare 2-0 win. So,
Yeah.
safe travels back to the middle of America, and Vamos City.
Yeah. Vamos City.
All right, have a good night, Kane.
Nice to meet you.
Yep. All right, that is our road reporter, Kane, the one that goes to games, reporting from Montreal. And again, he is both a Montreal and a St. Louis fan. He was a Montreal fan first, so that's where that comes from. But yeah, good win tonight, 2-0. It's just at this point, it's just nice to feel like we're winning. Like, I know it's going to lead us nowhere, except it's going to lead us away from the wooden spoon, because with Galaxy still losing to Seattle, which I'm going to check out that game. It's at halftime right now, I think. Where are you? There. Yeah, it's actually 2-1. 2-1 Seattle. So it was 2-0 at one point. Musovski got a second goal for Seattle, but then Yoshida tied it up 2-1. So that one looks like it's going to be a pretty good finish. I'm going to check that out here once I sign off here for this watch along. But yeah, right now Galaxy are they have 20 points. City has 25. So we got a 5-point cushion now. So fingers crossed it holds the rest of the way. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining this watch along. Again, that last half hour just felt like we were just kind of like on a slow march to the end there. But you know what? I will definitely, I'm not going to complain about that whatsoever. So drop a comment below if you're watching the replay of this. Drop a like as well. It really helps this channel out as well. Thank you to my Zombie Ultras who keep this channel alive and keep it going here. I know I've been kind of quiet lately with my content, just personal stuff going on. I will be doing the watch along for next week as St. Louis will be on the road once again. And they are taking on... Who are they taking on, actually? That's actually a good question. That kind of shows you how kind of out of tune I am. They're at San Jose. So it's going to be MLS After Dark next Saturday, September 20th, 9:30 kickoff, local time. I'm going to do a watch along for that. Of course, want to give a big thank you to Pat Connolly Tavern, located at the corner of Oakland and Tam in beautiful Dogtown. Live zombie watch along. Really just a get-together on the October 4th Austin match. That kickoff will be at the normal 7:30 time, and suggested donation of $5 for the Florida Cure donation drive for Cardinal Glennon. I hope to see as many of you guys there as possible. It'd be a good way to end the season just on a high note with friends. So this is your Soccer Zombie, Tom Franklin. Thank you so much for watching. See you again next Saturday. And remember, zombies keep moving forward.